Good morning. It is Monday, December 13th, 2021, and this is the Deep Dive with Keeping Current Matters. Today, we're going to be talking about momentum in the housing market. There's so much happening right now with buyer activity and rising equity and sellers getting ready to put their homes on the market in the winter earlier than we usually see. There's just so much out there, and what I want to do is help position you with the tools, the resources, the visuals you need to have the most powerful conversations with your clients to kind of leverage that momentum right now, bring it into the new year, and really, generate those listings and start 2022 really, really strong. So I'm going to provide all kinds of data and visuals for you to share today and to have those really meaningful conversations with your clients. Can't wait to do that. And of course, if you know someone who needs to hear this message, go ahead and tag them as well in the comments, and they can join us live or watch the replay. And there's just so much great information to share. And we want you to share it out with your sphere, with your clients and social media and conversations that you're having. You're going to be able to download these slides today. So if you're a KCM member, as always, you can get the slides in our member area. Or if you're new to KCM, you can go to trykcm.com and download the slides as well. You can customize them and see so much more. And I'll have that link up on the slides as we go through the presentation today so you can see that as well. And speaking of our slides today, you're going to get a sneak peek at the new visuals that we are going to be rolling out in January. So this is like first look at our upgraded slide design. We have designers who have worked so hard to be able to upgrade our visuals and give you the most impactful insights visually delivered so you can use those in your market with your clients. And I can't wait to be able to share those with you today. So we're going to go ahead and get started in just a moment. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the momentum in today's housing market and how you can really have really meaningful conversations with your clients and leverage that momentum going into the new year. And I actually want to start today with a quote. So we're going to take a peek at these new slides. Look at that. All right, we're going to start with this quote today, and it's from the M Report. And it says, "The demand for housing in the United States has reached a fever pitch, a trend that opposes the norm of this time of year, when the market cools as the winter months set in." So what are we seeing? We are seeing an incredible amount of buyer strength and buyer activity in this market, more so than we would see typically at this time of year. And that's for a lot of reasons. If you follow along with us, we've talked a lot about mortgage rates projected to rise, home prices projected to rise. And as that message gets out into the market, that gives buyers kind of that drive or that interest in purchasing before those two levers rise, because they want affordability to work in their corner. And I'm willing to bet that you've been getting that message out there. So lots of reasons that buyers are actively searching for homes. A big one of those is the non-financial benefits of homeownership. We talked about that a lot last week when we were together. People's needs have changed and they are ready to make a change. And that's huge for today's market. So let me go ahead and show you what this buyer momentum looks like right now. This is the Showing Time Monthly Index. So an index that measures how many people are going out and looking at homes, at scheduling showings. And you've seen this graph with us before, and I'm giving you the latest update today. So for a little context, the green bars show that really strong showing activity at the beginning of 2021, January through April. It was just really skyrocketing. And then as we all felt, it softened a little bit in those orange bars through the middle of the year and into September. Well, the big news right now is that showing activity, or the number of people scheduling showings, that has ticked up in October. That is monumental. That is something that generally does not happen at this time of year. So when showings start to generally trail off towards the end of the year, more potential buyers are going out there and saying, actually, I really want to look for a home. And they're out there actively looking. That's the blue bar that you can see over on the right. So what I want to do is kind of break this down for you so you can see what this really means. So this is the showing index over the last 5 Octobers. We love to give you context here at KCM, and this really does that. So 2021, October of 2021 is the blue bar. That's where we are today. That is higher than October of last year in the green bar. Remember, last year was record breaking. So this is huge. This is a tick up at a time that showings generally drop. And if you compare that historically to the 3 years leading up to the pandemic, 2017, 18, and 19, we've blown that out of the water. So more people are out there looking at homes than normally at this time of year. So the buyers want to buy. Now let's look at a quote that really helps solidify this. This is also from Showing Time, and it says, showing activity typically slows in the fall, but we've seen buyer demand remain strong in many markets throughout the country to reverse the seasonal trend. Last fall, we saw an unparalleled rise in buyer demand, which makes October's year-over-year gains all that more impressive. Really, really impressive. And this is really showing that buyers are out there and they're ready to see homes. But here's the thing. They can't buy what's not for sale. So let's talk about that on the flip side. This is a quote from Realtor.com, and it says, Realtor.com's 2022 housing forecast expects the winter months to be busier than usual. You've heard us start to talk about this right now, with momentum carrying into the new year. We also expect a growing number of homeowners to bring properties to market, taking some pressure off high prices and offering buyers more options. So what does this mean? This means that we've been following the data. It says it here as well, that more homeowners, more potential sellers, people who have said they're planning to sell over the next 12 months, are saying, I'm going to do that this winter. This is a higher percentage than normally says they're planning to sell in the winter months. If that plays out, that takes the pressure off high prices and gives buyers more options. That kind of eases some of the supply and demand conversation that we've been happening. So what we can see today is that this is what's expected to happen. It's expected to happen earlier than normal. So going into the winter months is earlier than the spring buying market. And the showing time data that we showed is kind of a leading indicator that buyers are going to be buying earlier as well. So really important to start to put these pieces of the puzzle together. But here's the thing, we haven't quite hit that tipping point yet. And I want to show you what that looks like. So this is new monthly listing counts, and this is 2017 to 2020. So I want to start here with some historical context of when new listings generally come to the market. So the blue, gray bars, those thin lines at the top, you've seen this before. That is the typical trend of what happens with new listings. They start to kind of climb up at the beginning of the year. They peak about April or May when sellers think, this is the time to list my house because buyers are in the spring buying market. And then they sort of trail off as the year goes on into December. Now, 2020, that's the orange line. Totally different year. You know this. So they started to climb up just like they normally do. March hits, they tank down, and then they start to recover, but never really hit that new listing count that we would look for in a typical year. So that's part of why inventory was so low last year and going into this year. And you can see how it kind of trails off for December. Now, let me show you 2021. So if we add in this green line, we can see that new listings started out lower than normal in January, started to creep up, never really hit that, peak of a normal year, and is following the decline of what happens towards the end of the year. So buyers are actively looking for homes, but we don't have a lot of new listings coming to the market right now. Now, what that doesn't mean is that it's not going to happen. It just means that, the sellers that have been saying we're going to be listing are coming in later in the season. And what we would hope is that that green line would tick up above the orange line, that would show more listings. And that's what we're aiming for as we go into January, February, and into the early part of the year. But here's the thing, and this is the mission critical message for today. Home sellers can't list their houses without you. They need your help. They need your knowledge, your expertise, everything that you can do to help them get those homes on the market. And you are kind of the catalyst for creating these listings going into the new year. Sellers are telling us they're ready to sell. Buyers are showing us they're ready to buy. You're the middle person that comes in and makes all of that come together. So we want you to be that driver, to be actively engaged with your potential sellers to help these listings come to the market. And that's about having really targeted conversations about why buyers are in the market right now, the strong buyer traffic, and the factors that are impacting why it's important to sell now. We've talked about the forecast a lot, rising prices, potentially rising mortgage rates. Sellers want to get ahead of that. So we want to help them understand that. And one of the best ways to initiate that conversation is by talking about home equity. So here's a quote from CoreLogic. It says, home price growth is the principal driver of home equity creation. The CoreLogic Home Price Index reported home prices were up 17.7% for the past 12 months, ending September, spurring the record gains in home equity wealth. So homeowners have gained record amounts of equity. We just got brand new data from CoreLogic at the end of last week, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. And it can be the powerful driver that helps your potential sellers realize now is the time to leverage that equity and sell. So take a look at this. Equity reaches record gains. The national average for homeowner equity gain over the past 12 months is now $56,700. That is huge. That is record breaking. That is what is going to help sellers say, you know what, this really is the time. And like I mentioned, having these conversations right now is mission critical. And at the end of the day, you have worked so hard over the past year and a half. We see it. We saw record breaking sales in 2020, that pace to exceed that in 2021. You have put everything on the line for your clients, and we are so grateful. You are helping people make powerful and confident decisions in a time of uncertainty and a time when they need it most. And I am certain that you're tired right now. And what I want to encourage you to do is take that time, celebrate the holidays with your family, but before and after, and like really throughout the season, stay connected with your potential sellers, because the more you have these conversations about growing equity, showing that buyer activity, and really getting that message out there, the more momentum you're going to be able to generate, finishing this year strong, going into 2022, just ready to crush it, not only for your business, but to help people. And that's why we're all here, to help people make powerful and confident decisions, to feel confident when buying and selling a home. We want to give you the resources to have those conversations and to make that meaningful impact on your market. So thank you for all that you've done this year. Thank you for helping so many buyers and sellers make the most important decisions of their lives. I'm so thankful for you. All of us at KCM are. And we hope that, going into next year, this is helpful information for you to continue that momentum and really start 2022 out very, very strong. So as always, KCM members, go ahead and download these slides in the member area. If you're new today, go to trykcm.com. You can have everything here at your fingertips to have those meaningful conversations. Dave will be back with you next week. I know you'll be excited to see him, to continue this conversation, to talk about going into the new year. And thank you for everything that you do. If you have questions, go ahead and pop those into the chat. We'll take a look through, answer what we can. Or you can always email me, Kate@keepingcurrentmatters.com. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your week.